Hey there folks, welcome back to another video review. I have just received the first 3 Kotobukiya ARTFX Bad Batch figures. These came in about a week ago and unfortunately we are still waiting for Echo and Crosshair. Now the entire lineup was revealed at Star Wars Celebration Anaheim back in April, was it? I'm already forgetting what the dates were, but they looked incredible and I had to pre-order them as soon as possible, only to find out Crosshair wasn't coming for another 6 months and Echo for another year or so, which personally I think is just baffling, which we have these 3 already, so I don't know what's keeping them up. And right now we don't have any information on Omega, so I'm hoping she kind of gets added, although part of me isn't too keen on having her. Well, I shouldn't say not too keen, but I won't be upset if she doesn't get added because I figure on one hand the Bad Batch are the clone troopers, these guys, and Omega's kind of like a added bonus, but it would make sense and it would be nice to have her added as well. The only extra pieces we really do have are the extra set of heads. Each one comes with the helmeted head, and then Hunter has a hand without any weapons. So right now we see him with the knife in one hand and with his blaster in the other. I left the other hand, oh, and there goes the other arm. Do be careful, they aren't too secure. Maybe I just didn't put it in all the way. Yeah, I think I didn't have it all the way. Well, I guess that revealed what I was going to show later. If you are not familiar with the Kotobukiya ARTFX line, one reason they are rather more affordable than traditional statues, they are essentially pieced together. They're almost like puzzles where each limb and each piece is a separate piece. They're not all coming together. So for instance, Hunter, the body is one piece, the backpack, the head, and each arm, as well as I think one of the hands is different, right? Well, yeah, it would be one hand because of the extra hand. Tech, we have the head again, arms, backpack, and the extra head. Wrecker, he does come with the blaster or his rifle in one arm. The other arm, his knife is also separated, the backpack, and so on. And something interesting with this line that they haven't really done before, most of the ARTFX figures do have a stylized base, either in a scene or some kind of battleground or such. Here we kind of went with the more simplistic, almost what they do for the ARTFX Plus line, which I don't mind. I really like this, and even though they aren't connected, you can pretty much bring them together to make it seem like they are all standing in one platform. So let me go ahead and start off with Hunter first, actually. Get a close-up of the helmet. The paint, I have to say, Kotobukiya has improved vastly, and not that they were ever bad or really needed improvement, but you know, over time they just improved their sculpts and their designs and their paints. I mean, it just looks incredible here. Perfect for animation. I do have a few other Kotobukiya pieces, so I do really hope we get more clones, because honestly I'll collect every single clone ARTFX that comes out. We really do need more, and I still need to pick up a lot of the older exclusives also. And something that is interesting with these, like I was mentioning about the bases, typically if, like, let's say I have a Commander Cody on a Utapau base, there are already pre-positioned peg holes for the feet to go into, so you can't really move them around. With these guys, they did something different where, because of the crease, the grates in, not the grates, but the lines in the grate, you can actually kind of position him any way you want. So you can take out these pegs. There we go. So each figure comes with 2 of these pegs that you can put into the feet and then line it up here. Now, I am kind of surprised they did this because on one hand, you really don't have much room to put these up on. I mean, it's not like you can really pose them in any other manner. They are essentially still static, or they're statues, where how you see it is this is what you get. I mean, you can't move anything else. So really, ideally, you can only kind of position him in different parts of here, or if you do kind of connect the bases, or at least have them touching, I guess you can have their feet overlapping, but that's about it. So I'm not quite sure why they did that way. Not that I'm upset or it really makes a difference, but I do also like it at the same time that it's something unique and different that they are offering. So as you can see, we have that mean mug look from Hunter with his facial tattoo. We have the bandana. The paint and everything is phenomenal. I'm working on a little bit of a different setup, so I apologize if I can't really get too close or you're going to hear the base scratching against the table. but there isn't too much. There's no articulation or anything, so really you're just looking at the outside, or what you see right in front of you. He looks really great with that sculpt and paint, and I know that's been an issue with, let's say, Sideshow lately. Their animated figures haven't been that great because either the sculpt isn't coming through well, or if the sculpt is made well, the paint isn't reflecting the characters, so the sculpt is pretty much being thrown out the window. Move that off to the side. Let's check out Rekka here. Take a look at his helmet first. And again, they all have the peg holes or the pegs already, so you pretty much know which way they are going to sit. I'll go ahead and take his head out. Now, for the most part, they do sit pretty snug. Every now and then you might get a loose piece, but they are pretty well done. And actually, I wanted to show this one more closely with all his scarring and different paint apps they have on here, so they did a really great job. And like I said, everything just matches up. All the details, I mean, they really did a good job focusing on the Bad Batch logo or Clone Force 99. Even all the details on his backpack. I mean, look at all the little scratches they even got. I love all that too. All the attention to detail. Don't forget his knife here. That's a pretty big knife too. I did not expect it to be this huge. And they, again, attention to detail. Look at all the colors and the graphics they added. And that one just slides right in there. I think that was the right way. Yeah, I think it goes one way and not the other. There we go. So it fits pretty flush. And some of these parts are a little bit softer rubber, so you do want to be careful. Like this part, if you do push too hard, it will bend. And as you see, even though with the pegs, they're not entirely secure, and there is a little bit of a wobble, so it's not too bad, but just be aware of that. I mean, it's not going to tip over or anything. They are still snug in there, but it's just because I think it doesn't, even though it sits flush, the pegs kind of lifted a little bit from the base, so you do have to worry about that. And last but not least, we have Tech. Now, Tech actually had the most accessories. Besides his head, these 3 tools were all detached, so you have to put them on. And I'm glad they did that because these are pretty fragile. I've almost snapped them just by accidentally grabbing him or pushing him on this side of the leg. So you have to really be careful with that. But they are each individual pieces. Let me see if I can take one out. I'm not sure how snug they are. That was a little bit looser. I feel like a lot of times if you get something similar with Sideshow or General Giant or Diamond Select, they really don't have this much attention to detail with these smaller pieces. They might just paint it all bronze and not have the sculpts, or maybe they'll have the sculpt and again just paint it all one color. But here, I mean, you can see the different copper to brown to more of the metal part, the different, like the tiny end piece right there, and just pops right in. And I don't think his glasses are removable here, but Tech has the most articulation anywhere. On his helmeted head, the goggles do come down. So that's pretty cool. Not too far up and down, but at least you can see his eyes. And I think with any statue, that's kind of the struggle you're going to face. Where do you want to display it, with the helmet or with the face? And as much as I love the helmets, these are some of my favorite helmets from any clone trooper, I'd much rather see their faces for who they are. And because they're almost, they actually are, they're in battle poses anyway, it kind of makes for a cool moment right before getting into battle that, they're maybe just about to put their helmets on, or, makes good cinematography showing this scene with them. And all the colors from the belt to the pants and the armor. Of course, we apparently have different color schematics for Season 2, so these are already outdated pieces, but hey, I don't mind. I like keeping the original look anyway, and I mean, either way, they're gonna look badass, so. Yeah, so for Tech also, the body and legs was one piece. We have 2 arms, the head, the backpack, and then those 3 individuals, and each figure came with their own base. And there you have it, folks. Just a really quick overview of these new Kotobukiya ARTFX line for the Bad Batch figures. Like I mentioned, I have Crosshair and Echo on the way. Luckily, Sideshow has their reward points program, so I'll basically be getting those for free, probably just paying the shipping and maybe tax on them. But yeah, I absolutely love these. Let me, really quick, even though they're all kind of scrunched down, let me get their heights real quick. From the base, they are about 9.5 inches, and records maybe at 10, a little bit over 10 inches. And as for the figure itself, yeah, he's at just about 9 inches, and Wrecker is at just about 10 inches. So they are pretty good sized pieces. They don't take up too much room, and especially with this base setup, you can have all 5 of them on one shelf, which is what I am going to do. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you all for tuning in, and stay tuned for next video.